Hello and welcome back to How to Build Software Without Coding. I'm Mr. Hackathon and I show you how to build software without coding. And in this tutorial, I am going to show you how to implement AI in your real estate business. To do this, I am going to use a tool called Chipp. And with Chipp, what we're going to do is to create a customer-facing chatbot that allows us to interact with customers and help solve their queries quickly. I am going to use Vidin Properties website as an example to train this assistant so that it understands the answers that we want it to answer when customers and prospects are interacting with the chatbot. What I want to do first is to log in. We have workspaces, so I am going to go to the workspace that organizes all my tutorials. We can see I already have one built, but we're going to build another one. And this is the builder workspace where you can customize your assistant. So the first thing we want to do is to give it a name, description, and a prompt. So I'm going to say Vidin Property Assistant. And this name and description is actually visible to the customer. So you want to give it a name and give it a description that you're okay with the customer actually seeing. I'm not going to go over the details of prompt engineering in this video, but for the sake of this tutorial, we can leave it as you are a helpful assistant, and we might add answer any question related to Vidin property. The next opportunity we have is to choose a model. We're going to stay with GPT 4.0, but you can change it to Claude, you can change it to Gemini, we have Mistral Large. So there's lots of different models we can actually use, but GPT-4 should be okay. We can add conversational starters. So these are options for the user to click on to speed up the conversation. I'm going to put 4 conversational starters. I might just put team, contact, invest, and maybe learn. The next part is really one of the most important parts, and this is where we begin to add a lot more customization. So we can use the Vidin Property website as a knowledge source. So if I click on knowledge source, we can use YouTube videos, Instagram, we can use Google Sheets, we can use Notion, TikTok, but what we're going to do is use a URL. And in using this URL, I am going to go to the website, copy their URL and paste it. And what I want to do is crawl the entire website. And then crawling the entire website, I can grab every page from their website. So I can grab the testimonials page, I can grab the discover page, I can grab the contact page. So I can grab all the pages that I want from the website and use that to train the assistant. So when the user says who's in your team, it should either point them to that part of the website or it should actually say who's in the team. What you can see here is that it's imported all of the URLs, and we can just delete a URL. For example, this hello world URL, we probably don't need that. So we can just delete any URL that we don't want to train the assistant on and select add source. Now our assistant is actually trained on this information. So if we say, hey, what investment opportunities are there, it should reach into the information that we trained it on and say what investment opportunities there are. What you can also see here in the builder is that users can upload images and files, and we don't actually want users to be able to do that. So we're going to turn this functionality off. To do that, we're going to go to new action, and these are the default basic actions. And we can also add custom actions. So if you want to connect it to your personal CRM and lots of different tools, we can do that too. But for the sake of this tutorial, we're just going to turn off all the basic actions. Users now cannot get information from the web, they cannot scan websites, they cannot generate images and upload files. The next thing we're going to do is add styling. To do that, we're going to go to the Style tab. We're going to upload a logo. Although I don't have the Viden logo, I think I might have a Chipp logo somewhere. Okay, this potentially might be the Chipp logo. Okay, perfect. So we've added the Chipp logo. You can change the brand color. You can also change some of the widget configurations. So you can see the widget here. When you click to open it, if this is how you want to open it on your website, you'll see something like this. We can change the configuration for the widget. So now we got a logo, we got our name, description, we've got our conversational starters, and we've trained our assistant on our website. What we're going to do is add a goal. Assistants are great for lead generation. So what we're going to do is hit goal, collect contact details, and what we can actually do is push the leads to an external sheet. So Google Sheet is the only option right now, and my Google account is already connected. And when we hit continue, what it's actually going to do is create a new Google Sheet named this. We can make the first name required, the last name required, and the email. Now, when users first open the assistant, they will see this first name, last name, and email, so we can actually collect their information. We hit continue, and you can see it's already made that adjustment. The next thing we want to do is actually track the conversation with the assistant and the customer or the prospect. So we're going to go to chats, and you can see there's no current chat sessions, but what we're going to do is hit settings, and we're going to add an output. And that output is going to be Google Sheets, and we're going to be able to chat the users and the chat logs that's actually occurring with the assistant. So we just hit add output, and it creates a new Google Sheet, and now is storing the users and the chat logs in this Google Sheet. Speaking of users and chat logs, if we go to sell, we can see that we can connect a Stripe account and actually charge users for using our assistant. Because this is a lead generation assistant, we're not actually going to charge users. We can also add a user sign up to authenticate users when they use our assistant. Again, we're not going to do this because of the purpose of this particular assistant, but because we have disabled user sign up, it means every conversation is going to be a new conversation. We can also email whitelist. That means to make sure only users with particular email addresses can sign up and access the application. For our particular use case, we don't need to do this. In the measure tab, we'll also be able to see how many people are using our assistant, how many leads are we generating, and how many transactions are we converting if we have monetization enabled. Lastly, we want to go to the Share tab, and in the Share tab, we can either provide a link, we can create an iframe or embeddable widget, or even an SMS if you want users to communicate with your assistant via SMS. An embeddable widget will probably be what you would want on your website that sits in the corner just here. For the sake of the tutorial, I am going to show you the working version as a share link. So I copy the URL, I paste it in a new tab, and I can immediately start chatting, and you can see it is asking for my information before we actually get started with the conversation. And now we provided our information, I can select a vest. And it provides information on investing with Viden property. I can even ask what properties do you have available? And I believe because the Vinyl website has view investments, it should show some of the properties that they have available. So you can see, for example, Deacon's Yard. If we go back, we can see Deacon's Yard here in Newcastle. So it's pulling that information directly from the training data, which has been trained from information on the website. This is how you get started with integrating AI with your real estate business. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on social media.